It's the Mr. Fitzy painting show. Robots, skeletons, and unicorns. Big wheels, elephants, and astronauts. It's the Mr. Fitzy painting show. Painting can take you where you wanna go. It's the Mr. Fitzy painting show.
Hi, welcome to the Mr. Fitzy Painting Show. Today we have our biggest show ever. And as you can see, I have a special guest artist with me, Amelia, my daughter. And as you can tell by what Amelia has, what are we gonna paint?
A world.
The world. And now, here you go. The world, what is this shape?
A sphere.
A sphere, very good. Now, when we go to paint a sphere and all the continents on the world, we have to paint it flat. So what shape are we going to use to paint?
A circle.
A circle. Okay, now can you take the globe and put that over there?
Over.
Over there, that's fine. Thank you. Now, before we start, I want to take a second and talk a little bit about what's been in the news. And when I was a boy, there was a television show on public television called Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. And you can still watch it today, can't you, Amelia?
Yes, I watched it.
Mm-hmm. And what Mr. Rogers said, that when he was a boy and he would see scary things in the news, his mother would always say to him, "Look for the helpers. You will always find people who are helping." To this day, especially in times of disaster, I remember my mother's words and am always comforted by realizing that there are still so many helpers, so many caring people in this world.
Like your mom and dad, or firefighters, or police.
Or teachers too?
Yeah.
Yeah. Or doctors and nurses?
Yeah.
And have you heard about the coronavirus?
Yes.
And what have you heard about it? Do you-
Not that much, but like I just heard about it. I don't really know
Okay.
what it is.
A virus is like a bug, and people can catch it, like the common cold or the flu. But there's a new kind of virus that's going all around the world, and that's what the coronavirus is. Now, if you feel scared sometimes, because people can get sick from it, it can be scary, you can always talk to those helpers. And it's important as adults, as teachers, as families, that we talk to our kids about what's happening in the world. Now, what can we do to help so that the coronavirus and other flu bugs and viruses don't get spread?
Wash your hands.
Wash your hands. For how long? Do you know?
Like 2 minutes.
2 minutes is brushing your teeth. Maybe more like 20 seconds. Think singing the ABCs. That's what Mommy taught us last night, right?
Yeah.
And you get under all the cracks and crevices.
Or row your boat 2 times.
That would work. Mr. Rogers sang a good version of Row, Row, Row Your Boat. Maybe I can do that later. And then also, what's the second thing? If you have a cough, you...
Chicken wing it.
Chicken wing. Can you demonstrate that for us?
You.
Instead of coughing in your hand, then it can get in your hands, and if you touch your face and your eyes, this way, if you cough in your elbow, it helps out. Okay, so now, let's get going, and we'll talk a little bit more about the news as we paint our world. First thing we're gonna do, what's the world made of?
Water and land.
Water and land. So let's start with a big circle with blue paint. So we're going to dip our brush in blue. We're going to load it up, gently twirling it around. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. So then I'm making a big blue circle. Now, Amelia, did we practice this a little bit last night?
Yeah.
And a few days before? Yeah, we did some sketches of the globe, right?
Yeah.
Because there's a lot to fit on there. What are the big parts of land called? Do you know?
Continent.
Continents, very good. Oh, your globe is looking awesome. Now, you can set down your round brush, and let's pick up our big flat brush right here. There you go. Yep, perfect. You see this one?
Mm-hmm.
And now load it up with blue.
This brush.
And now we're going to fill in
The same blue as
lots
before.
of blue for all the water. Because once we have the blue for the water, we're going to put green on top. What makes green? What two colors? Do you know, Amelia?
Blue and yellow.
Very good. So since green contains blue, when we go to put the continents in, it'll be a good mixture. It won't create a color we don't want. And we have different shades of blue. So if you want a darker blue, you can put a bit of darker blue in for some of the ocean. And then later on, once we have the continents in there, we can add in some darker areas, maybe where the water's deeper in the ocean, colder water. Now, how's it going? Oh, you're faster than me. That's okay.
You're faster than me.
So, do you know what the names of the continents are?
Some of them.
Okay, what's the first one that you know? Are you ready to start with the continents?
Okay, South America, North America.
Okay, so let's take another round brush. You can set that brush down and pick a green.
This brush.
Perfect.
Any kind of green, I'm just gonna do this
Now,
one.
let's start with South America. Let's put it over here. South America looks like a balloon at the top, so make a circle.
So,
Good. And then make it like a squiggly balloon at the bottom, where it's kind of running out. Perfect. Yours looks great.
and fill it in with the same green.
Yes. You can also put some darker greens in there
Mm-hmm.
for the darker areas. Okay. Now, you said North America. We can do that next, right?
Yes.
So, first let's make a funnel shape. And kind of that's like a triangle, or that's where Mexico is at, and some other countries, connecting up to the United States. Now, one of the things I always think about is Florida sticks out kind of like a little thumb. Can you make that? A little thumb part like Florida? Very good. Now, for the rest of North America, what's on top of the United States? What country, do you know?
No.
Canada.
Oh.
And Canada, I think like a big whale facing this way. So make a big whale mass of land facing that way. And once we get the shapes in, then we can add more green, and we can add...
I didn't really get to my darker greens.
Yeah.
I could just take that green and put it in here because it's a darker green.
Good idea. Okay, now, I like to think of it when I was sketching it out last night. We have Greenland, and what does Greenland look like? Do you remember?
A bird.
A bird. So Greenland's pretty large. It's not a continent, but it's a large island. So go ahead and put a big, large green bird, kind of like a triangle shape up there. Good. Yours looks great.
I don't think.
And all on top of Canada are a bunch of islands. And that looks to me like water squirting out of the whale's blowhole. So just make dabs of paint for all those islands there. Now, because the globe has parts, we call them hemispheres. And when we think about the world, right now we're doing what we call the West, the western part, the western countries. And that's going to include Europe, and we'll get to that in a minute. But North America, South America, we're doing our globe kind of squeezed in because I wanted to make sure that we could paint as much of the continents and countries as possible. So some things might be a little bigger or a little smaller than they really are, but we're doing it just so we can fit it in.
But
okay?
if you can use a bigger canvas.
Yeah. Or sometimes you could do one half of the world and then you could paint another canvas with the other half. But we're squeezing them both in. Okay, next. We have North America, South America. How about Asia? Let's get Asia done. That's on the other side over here. And I like to think about Asia like another big giant bird. Make an oval like this. And down there at the bottom, you can make the head, almost like an eagle, a big eagle bird. And the head down here, where we get over there, towards where we have Japan, and we have China is up above here. Those are in Asia too. And then another kind of a loop for Russia. Asia is the largest continent, so there's a lot in there, a lot of land. And then could do another kind of a loop for where Europe is at. Very good. I like your brush strokes, Amelia. So, one of the things that sometimes happens when we want to make sure that people don't get this virus is that they close down schools temporarily. Don't worry, kids. Schools will get back in session if your school has to be closed. Do you know one place they've closed schools already?
China or China.
Yes, they have closed schools in China, and they've also closed schools for a month in Japan. So Japan is a little island over here. Well, it's not a little island, but it's a few islands. And the top of the island of Japan, I think, looked like a little heart. So you could paint a little heart, and then you could paint a little squiggle below that. So one of the reasons that we decided to paint the whole world and do our very special, biggest episode ever was that in case your school ever ends up being closed, what's one thing that you can do as a family together?
You can make art.
Excellent. And I always say this, and it's true now. You might not have paint in your house. Maybe your dad isn't an art teacher like me, but you can still draw the world with crayons or a pencil or whatever you have handy. Okay, now next, let's work on
I don't think I really have that much food.
I think you're going to get there. We might have to put Africa over some of the little bit of. Let's do Africa. That's a big continent now, too. That's the second largest after Asia. I think it looks like a ice cream cone. Or maybe you could think like a triceratops horn, because there's a horn of Africa, that little horn that sticks up like that.
I don't think it's that tall.
Well, make yours a little smaller then. That's what I mean. Since we're kind of squeezing in all the continents and all the land of the world on one side of the globe, things are going to get a little crowded. So,
Like, this doesn't look like, kind of not like the whole world.
all right. Do you remember what we talked about for Australia? That's another continent we're going to make. Like a dolphin with a little stubby nose. And that goes over there in the lower right corner. There's Australia. I think that looks good.
I think I got into the right spot.
Remember, off Africa, you can put a little blob for Madagascar.
Blop, blop.
Over here for Hawaii. They always make those bigger than they are. Might want to use your yellow-green for Hawaiian Islands. Little dabs. They would really be on the other half, but we're squeezing them in there. And, okay, let's do Scotland, England, Wales. I thought that looked like a little bunny. So can you paint like a little bunny over here? There you go. And what does Ireland look like? A little baby.
I don't think I have.
Just put it right on top. Okay.
Should I use the blue for Ireland?
Yeah, sure. Or just put green on top. Blue's for the water, green's for the land. Now, I think France looks like a little star. Put that over in Europe. There's Germany, Spain, and Italy. What's Italy shaped like? Do you remember?
Maybe on my paper I remember.
On your sketch? I'll give you a hint. What do you put on your feet in the wintertime?
A shoe.
Well, if you're going outside in the snow.
boot.
A boot. Italy is shaped like a boot. And
A boot.
who's the artist we've been reading about at night?
Leonardo da Vinci.
Leonardo da Vinci. And he lived where?
In Italy.
Very good. Now, if we wanted to see the Mona Lisa, his famous painting, do you know where we would go?
Italy?
Actually, good guess. It's in France right now, in a museum called the Louvre. So if we had a Mr. Fitzy painting show jet, we're still working on that. But if we did, could we fly over to the Louvre and see the Mona Lisa?
Yes.
Well, actually, the Louvre is closed.
Why?
The Louvre is closed for cleaning in case people could catch that virus. So we're going to have to wait. But once they clean up the Louvre, we could go visit and see Leonardo da Vinci's most famous painting. Okay, I think we've got a lot of the continents and the land. Let's see, North America, South America, Antarctica, Europe, Australia, Antarctica. Okay, let's get a new brush.
For
And
this
how about a slightly thicker? And then you're going to use your white, because what's Antarctica made with?
Snow and ice.
Snow and ice, yes.
Wait, what?
And I think Antarctica looks like an ice boat. So you can make it down there at the bottom.
It might mix in with the blue because it's white.
Yeah, but that might be okay. You could even put a little bit of ice that's floating there. And what about the top of the world? What's up at the top of the world? Is there a continent up there?
Yeah.
Well, it's not a continent really, but what's up there at the North Pole?
Then
Floating. Oop, are you okay?
ice.
Ice. So let's make some big chunks of floating ice up top. Very good.
Make a big one. Don't fall, don't fall. This chunk. Oh no, oh no.
Okay.
You think I have a
Now.
big chunk?
I like those chunks of ice.
I don't think it's.
Okay, what do you think? Is it time to go back in and start making some of those oceans bluer and more indigo, a blue violet and purple?
Start making those oceans.
All right.
With this big brush.
Okay, that's a good idea.
And then maybe on the outside you can do some blue too.
Yeah, and maybe I'll take some of my indigo and my dark blue and start putting it up there near what we call the Arctic Circle, up near the North Pole, and down near Antarctica. Because you think the water's the coldest there?
Yes.
Yep, you're right. And we can get thick with the paint. Nothing is more fun than thick paint.
I don't think I should get thick paint because I have a thick brush.
That can hold a lot of paint. A thick brush is good for thick paint. Are you afraid that it'll drip or something?
Yeah, like that one.
Oh. What you can do with that, do you still have that brush that you use for white?
Yes.
You can go back. Actually, you've been waiting for this. This is perfect.
The fan brush.
The fan brush. Amelia's going to demonstrate our fan brush. And nothing kids like more than the fan brush. Wait, hold on. White. Dip your fan brush in the white. And then right around where you had that mistake, see the mistakes hanging down there? Start putting in white all around the world. What is that? What are we putting in there? What do you think?
We're putting in, I don't know.
What do we breathe?
Air,
Air, the
oxygen.
atmosphere, that's right. Clouds and atmosphere and air. And then on the other side of that, what do we have? Further past the atmosphere, if we got in a spaceship,
Clouds.
past the clouds is
Space.
space. Do we want to put some space in there? So look, when you can take your fan brush and you can kind of get real mixed up like this. You can mix it in there. You see how I'm getting a little blue in there? Does that start to make it look more like a real earth? I think so. Now, do we want to put in the outer space and the stars to finish these off?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to have to squeeze out a little bit of black paint. You keep going on your atmosphere and your earth, and I will give you over black
Because
paint.
you're done.
Yeah, I'm a little, well, I don't know. I think you might be a little bit ahead of me, but we'll go with it. All right. So now, do you need a new brush? Let me give you a new big brush. Be easier. Don't use the fan one for outer space. Now,
Why?
well, then you're going to mix a gray. When you do the stars, you're going to want to do little dots.
Of white.
Exactly. Or you could make them yellow or red, but I don't know if we have yellow. Squeezed out. So you see how I'm doing it? Yep. That's okay. It looks good. Do it all around the edges.
I don't know what that could be. The line?
There you go. And don't get too close to the earth. Leave that layer of atmosphere. We all need our oxygen, right? There you go.
think I just burned some paint.
Oh, that's okay. We can get our drips afterwards. Drips happen. Ooh, I like that purple that you put in for the water up near the Arctic Circle.
Now I think I'm making gray. Grayish black. I think yours is more dark. I think I need more black.
Okay. I can squeeze out some for you.
I think I have to move this pencil. Move. I don't think this pencil will move. Ooh, it's moving, yay.
There you go.
Yay.
Okay,
Yay.
so let's,
I think I got black later.
all right, quickly put in a little bit of black, and then let's get a small detail brush for those stars.
I think I got it on this easel, but that's okay, because it's an easel.
And do little dots for stars.
I'm not that far yet.
Yeah, you've done a pretty good job keeping up. The Mr. Fitzy painting show goes pretty quickly. So I would just like to take this time to thank all of my family, especially Amelia, for coming out and painting on the Mr. Fitzy painting show. And
Oopsie, they have no oxygen.
my students in Gurney District 56 at Spalding School for the past 24 years and before that. And all of my teachers and helpers who've helped me over the years. Ed Paschke was my teacher, and he would always tell my parents to expect great things from Frank. And I really feel like today we've done a great thing. And great things take community. They take a neighborhood, like Mr. Rogers says. So I want to thank Dan Heuser. He is our producer of the Mr. Fitzy Painting Show, cameraman, editor, done so much for all these episodes. And I'd like to dedicate this show to him and to Ed, and thanks to everyone.
I'm gonna maybe have to finish the stars at home. At least I have some.
Beautiful.
I think I'm gonna have to do more black. More white, please.
Thanks a lot. I will see you next time on the Mr. Fitzy Painting Show. And thank you, Amelia.
It's the Mr. Fitzy Painting Show. Painting can take you